These electronic agreements are becoming the new normal in our business transactions. Think about it. You can create a contract, send it for signing, have it signed, and returned to you, all without a single sheet of paper or postage stamp in sight. Hey there, it's Peter back again with another crucial topic for all you forward-thinking business owners out there. If you remember, 2 episodes ago, on episode 6, we talked about the ins and outs of remote team leadership. It's evident that we're living in a world where business is no longer confined to brick and mortar offices anymore, and boundaries are a thing of the past. This shift has sparked another revolution, a silent but significant one, which is the rise of digital transactions. Yes, my friends, the era of waiting for snail mail to deliver that signed contract is almost over. Today, it's all about e-signatures and digital contracts, and trust me, they are game changers. That's if you don't already use them, and I'm sure a lot of you already do. My agency and other businesses I've been involved with have been using e-signatures since the early days of HelloSign. I believe that was around 2013 or 2012, I can't remember specifically. And the impact on efficiency and productivity has been nothing short of amazing. The question is, are you ready to step into the future and embrace these digital tools? Over the next few minutes, we'll dive into what e-signatures and digital contracts are and explore how you can harness their power for your business. Along the way, I would also share some of my personal experiences to help you navigate this digital terrain. So buckle up because we're about to take off. What exactly are e-signatures? I know you have an idea, most likely already, but let me break it down as usual. Essentially, an e-signature or electronic signature is a legally binding way to get consent or approval on electronic documents or forms rather than paper. So it can be as simple as typing in your name, an encrypted signature, a scanned image of your handwritten signature, or even a unique biometric fingerprint. Now you might be wondering, are these e-signatures legally valid? And can I use them for my business transactions across different continents? The answer is a resounding yes. E-signatures are recognized as legally binding in many jurisdictions across the globe. Take the United Kingdom, for instance. The Electronic Communications Act of 2000 established the legal recognition of electronic signatures, and this was further supported by the EU regulation EIDAS, which still applies post-Brexit. So for my fellow business owners operating in or with the UK, e-signatures can certainly be a part of taking your business. Then we have digital contracts also. I remember in the episode on blockchain, we talked about smart contracts. So just like a traditional paper contract, a digital contract is a binding agreement between two parties. The difference is that it's created, signed, and also maintained in a digital format. That means there's no more physical storage or misplaced papers. But remember, just like any contract, a digital contract must meet certain legal requirements: offer, acceptance, consideration, and the intention to be legally bound by this contract. The format, paper or digital, doesn't change these basics. Let's debunk some myths now, shall we? I can almost hear some of you thinking, are these e-signatures and digital contracts secure enough? Or are they only for tech-savvy businesses? Stay tuned because we'll dive into that next. You know, the world we live in today is fast-paced. Everything is digital. Everything is instant. And let's be honest, everything is a bit more convenient compared to 10 years ago. That's where digital contracts come in. These electronic agreements are becoming the new normal in our business transactions. Think about it. You can create a contract, send it for signing, have it signed, and returned to you, all without a single sheet of paper or postage stamp in sight. It's incredibly efficient, and you can do it from anywhere in the world, whether you're sipping coffee at a cafe in London or sitting on a beach in Bali. In my business, for instance, I have clients from across the globe, countries I've never been to and I might never be to. Digital contracts have helped me secure deals faster and with a lot less back and forth. Now, I can hear some myths floating around about e-signatures and digital contracts. So let's tackle them head on. Myth number one, by most people I talked to about this topic, goes that e-signatures are insecure. Now, the truth about this is that e-signatures are often more secure than traditional pen and paper signatures. Many e-signature platforms include robust security measures such as encryption and an audit trail that protect the integrity of the signed documents, so you can always see when the document was signed and what happened at each point with different data points tracking that document. Myth number two goes that digital contracts and e-signatures are only for the tech savvy, and honestly, that's not at all. Most of the modern platforms where you can use e-signatures are designed to be very user-friendly, with simple step-by-step guides and customer support also to help you out. So you don't need a degree in computer science to use them, trust me about that. To me, just knowing about these things, e-signatures and digital contracts, isn't enough. You need to understand how they can apply to your business and what benefits they can bring to your business, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So why should you even consider using e-signatures and digital contracts? Are they just a trendy buzzword that will die up tomorrow, or do they actually offer substantial benefits? Well, I'm here to tell you that these things are a game changer for businesses, especially those with full or partial remote operations like mine. First up, they are incredibly fast. If you remember those days, maybe you did business in the past when post was the main means of sending documents, and then you have to mail a contract to another state or country or continent, wait for it to be signed, and then wait for it to be returned to you. Those days are long gone. Now you can send a contract to someone on the other side of the world, and they can sign and return it to you in minutes, as easily as sending an email. Another reason why you should use these things are they are cost effective. Think about how much you spend on paper, ink, postage, and most especially storage for paper contracts. With digital contracts, all these costs vanish. Plus, time is money, right? The quicker turnaround time means faster deal closures, and that to me is a win-win in my book. Next thing we'll talk about is security. As I mentioned earlier, many e-signature platforms provide features such as encryption and audit trails. This means that you can be confident that your contracts are safe, secure, and legally binding. Let's also not forget about the environment, which is a big issue these days. By going digital, we reduce paper waste and also contribute to sustainability. That's a small step to preserving our planet, if you ask me. Finally, for businesses like mine that operate remotely or have international clients, the convenience of e-signatures and digital contracts is unparalleled. No matter where your clients or team members are located, you can get documents signed off quickly and easily. But knowing the benefits is just the start. How do you go about implementing these digital tools in your business? Well, let's go into that next. Hopefully, at this point, you're convinced that e-signatures and digital contracts are the way forward. But how do you actually get started? Well, first thing you need to do is to pick an e-signature platform. So there are many great options out there. I won't be recommending any one in particular, but you have Dropbox Sign, you have DocuSign, you have Adobe Sign, just to name a few. Each platform has its own strengths, so your choice will depend on your specific needs. DocuSign, for instance, is well known for its comprehensive feature set, which includes things like advanced authentication options, comprehensive audit trails, and integration with many other software platforms. Adobe Sign, on the other hand, is known for its tight integration with other Adobe products. So in case you use Adobe Acrobat and things like that, that'll be a big plus for you. Dropbox Sign, which was formerly HelloSign, is usually praised by users for its user-friendly interface, competitive pricing, especially for small and medium-sized businesses. So in order to choose the right platform for your business, consider your business, your budget, the size of your team, the types of documents you need to sign, and the other software tools your business uses for compatibility. Once you've chosen a platform, the process of getting a document signed digitally is pretty straightforward. You upload the document, specify who needs to sign, and you send it off. The recipient can then sign the document digitally, and you'll be notified once it's done. After signing, the document is stored securely in the cloud so that you can access it whenever you need it. Remember though, with any new tool or process, there is going to be a learning curve. And this brings us to the next crucial point, which is employee training. While the process I mentioned earlier of signing the documents digitally is very straightforward, it is essential to properly train your team on how to use your chosen e-signature platform. Everybody should understand how to upload and prepare documents, how to send them out for signature, and how to access completed documents. It's also important to understand the legal aspects of digital contracts, which we'll touch on in a bit. So let's talk about some best practices and legal considerations when using these e-signatures and digital contracts. First of all, make sure you or your employees verify the identity of your signatories. This may seem straightforward, but it's a very crucial step. This can be as simple as confirming that the email address is correct before sending out the documents. And for more sensitive documents, you may want to consider additional measures such as SMS verification or knowledge-based authentication. Secondly, make sure you keep a secure audit trail. Most e-signature platforms do this automatically, providing detailed records of who signed the document, when it was signed, and even the IP address of the signer. This audit trail serves as powerful evidence in case the validity of a signature is ever questioned. Thirdly, it's crucial to review and update your digital security measures regularly. Cybersecurity is not a one and done thing. It's a constant effort, and it's important to stay updated with the latest security trends and threats. So always keep your e-signature platform and other software using your business up to date, and continuously educate your team about phishing attempts and other cyber threats. I'm writing a very small and easy to understand book on cybersecurity, and I'll talk about it when it's done on this podcast. Beyond best practices, like I said before, it's also essential to understand the legal landscape surrounding e-signatures and digital contracts. So let's touch on that briefly. Now, as we move into the digital realm, it's essential that we consider the legalities. After all, we want these digital contracts and signatures to hold up in court, right? In the United States, the eSign Act provides the legal groundwork for electronic signatures and records. It assures that these digital transactions hold the same weight as their paper counterparts. For our European listeners, there is also the EIDAS regulation I talked about earlier, which establishes the legal framework for electronic signatures across EU member states. In the UK, the Electronic Communications Act of 2000, which I spoke about, and the EIDAS regulation, which I just talked about too, all provide the legal basis for e-signatures. Of course, these are broad strokes and the regulations can get a bit more complex. So I would always advise consulting with a legal professional if you have specific concerns. But generally speaking, you can rest assured that as long as you follow the rules I've talked about and best practices, your e-signatures and digital contracts will be legally sound. Also remember that every country has specific laws. So if you're doing business internationally, apart from the countries I just mentioned, you may need to familiarize yourself with the e-signature laws in those countries too. Wow! We've covered quite a bit today, haven't we? So let's take a quick jog down memory lane, shall we? We've explored what e-signatures and digital contracts are, and how they are not only valid, but also legally recognized in several jurisdictions worldwide. We've busted some common myths and highlighted the numerous benefits these digital tools offer, such as improved efficiency, cost savings, and better security. We've also looked at practical steps for implementing e-signatures and digital contracts in your own business. Apart from that, we've talked about various service providers and given a step-by-step breakdown of how to get a document signed digitally. Remember, training your employees on these tools is just as important as implementing them. And last but definitely not the least, we've discussed some best practices and the essential legal considerations to keep in mind to ensure your digital transactions are both secure and legally sound. The summary of everything is that the digital transformation train is not slowing down. E-signatures and digital contracts are becoming the norm, and for a good reason, because they make our lives easier and our businesses more efficient. So if you haven't started to explore these tools, I strongly encourage you to do so. As we've discussed today, the switch is not as daunting as it might seem. And once you get the hang of it, you wonder how you ever managed without it. Remember, in this digital age, it's all about adaptability, and that's why this show exists. These tools are here to help you become adaptable, so don't be afraid to take the leap, and I promise the landing will be smoother than you think. We are test running 2 episodes a week starting this month, so this has been published a bit earlier than usual. We'll see how it goes though. E-signatures and digital contracts are a big part of remote work, so I would recommend you listen to episode 6 on remote team leadership after this. It will definitely give you a tip or 2 or even more on getting the best out of your remote team. So see you on episode 6. Thank you very much.